Hello, everybody. My name is Intisar Elarabi, the Director of the Department of Museums, Observation of Tripoli, Department of Antiquities, Director of the Archaeological Museum for Children, and I am also responsible for the Central Suitcase Museum for Tripoli. And in this presentation, I will be talking about the Libyan national project known as the Suitcase Museum and its role in raising awareness about the importance of cultural heritage. This project began throughout the years of 2016 and 2017. The idea of this project started when a Libyan Boy Scout leader at the time, Mr. Baryoun, applied for a grant from Prince Claus's Fund through the International Council of Museums, ICOM, in Rome. The idea was to create a movable museum under supervision of the Boys and Girls Scout Commission and the Department of Antiquities. The idea of this project was also discussed with Professor Susan Kane and Dr. Paul Orsley, who suggested that this project should be conducted by the Boys and Girls Scout Commission. Unfortunately, the application wasn't successful, despite the support and recommendations from some organizations and interested individuals, such as Susan Kane from Oberlin College and Paul Bennett from the Society of Libyan Studies in London. 2 workshops were conducted in Tunis. The first one titled Temporary Museum, and the other the Libyan Carnival. During these workshops, Susan Kane suggested to adopt the Suitcase Museum instead of a movable museum that contains copies of the collections in Libyan museums, in addition to some other items that you will see later on in this presentation. Over here we speak about 2 workshops. The first took place in the archaeological site of Janzur, where Boys and Girl Scouts from Tripolitania participated, and the second one was in Cyrene that attracted Boys and Girl Scouts from the whole country in 2018. During these workshops, the Suitcase Museum project was adopted and supported by ASOR, who provided the project with 11 suitcases in 2019, and then another 11 suitcases were also made available by ASOR. Voluntary and consistency were the 2 conditions that have been suggested by Susan Kane. The selection of the team was completely up to the leader of the project, Mr. Baryoun. This team comprises a number of archaeologists, academics, and teachers, in addition to Boys and Girl Scout leaders. Of the Suitcase Museum. It is a suitcase that carries a group of educational, interactive, and training tools, a targeted educational system that alerts the preservation of cultural heritage. It also contains figures and reproductions of civilizations that have passed through Libya during the ages of humanity. Many do not know what cultural heritage is and its importance. It has simple capabilities and is easy to transport. Ease of reaching the target. You do not need specialists to work with. Legendary stories and stories related to the city must be known. Spreading the culture of what is contained in museums as it is a small portable museum. Positive and active use of the senses such as looking and touching. The targeted group of people in this project are school and university students, the Boys and Girl Scout, and participants of summer clubs. There were 22 suitcases that were distributed all over Libya throughout 2 years, and as you can see in this map are the places it was distributed in. On this slide, as you can see, these are pictures of the team members while they are receiving their suitcase museums. As you can see in this photo, these are the contents of the Suitcase Museum. The Suitcase Museum also contains an archaeological map of Libya that covers the history of Libya from the period of the dinosaurs, where fossils were found in the city of Nelut. It also contains drawings that copy artwork of the animals that lived in Libya from 12,000 to 20,000 years ago. And it also has tools that were used by prehistory men, lamps, and daily life pottery vessels. On this slide, these are pictures of archaeological statues from some Libyan museums. Mosaics, coins, and copies of gypsum statues are also included in the suitcase. And some other stuff are some items for children, such as dinosaur puzzles, coloring books, and a lot more. Some other stuff that are in the Suitcase Museums were lamps that were made in a workshop, and they're actually the exact same copy of the ancient ones. Besides the children, the suitcase targeted all members and segments of the society. Among the activities of the suitcase were awareness lectures through puzzle games, despite the current circumstances with the pandemic, the suitcase leaders made great effort giving lectures up in the open air. Among the activities is a visit to Al Noor Center for blind people. As we don't have special museums, we explain to them through letting them touch the objects. We also visited a special needs children's center, as you can see in these pictures. Over here in these pictures, we are teaching the children about all the contents of the Suitcase Museum. As you can see here, these are the activities of the Suitcase Museum during the coronavirus pandemic. Among our visits, there was also a visit to the refugees of Libya, as you can see in this slide. Over here in this slide, these are the items that are in the Suitcase Museum of Sirte. Some other photos of the activities. We participated in a number of events that include Scout Festival for Heritage in Benghazi, raising awareness workshops for tourists on the International Day of Tourism, the first conference in the International Day of Museums organized by APTI's organization with an Arabic organization of museums, the participation through Zoom with Iraqi tourism organizations, and a workshop during the excavation of the University Sunusiya in October 2020 in Shahat. Here are a few more pictures during the activities. These photos show the meetings before each workshop. And over here on this slide, we have some photos of the volunteers from the academics who gave awareness lectures. The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Youth and Sports decided this project by providing a number of suitcase museums at the municipal level or at the school level, as well as the level of scouting commissions in all parts of Libya. Awareness of the importance of preserving a heritage that starts from the young age from within schools. Either we create a generation that knows the importance of cultural heritage, or we create a generation of random prospectors and antiquity dealers. The preparation of training courses for a number of leader scouts and teachers in history and school activity regarding the field of suitcase museums. Major field events. The Sabratha workshop from the 11th to the 15th of February 2020, the Suitcase Museum and Challenges of Building a Generation that Maintains its National Identity on February 12, 2020, Archaeology Excavations Training on February 13th, 2020, and Preserving the Archaeological Sanctuary of Sabratha, Removing Weeds from the Mosaic Floors of the Roman Baths and Cleaning on February 14th, 2020. Lectures to raise awareness in the University of Bin Walid. Here are some pictures from our visit to the city of Bin Walid. The workshop in Sabratha in form of special lectures for archaeology students on how to excavate antiquities as well as cleaning a mosaic floor inside the site. Our visit to the old city of Sabratha. Lectures inside the Museum of Nalut for dinosaurs and natural history. Over here are some photos of our visit to the old city of Nalut. These are some photos from our visit to the Pearl of the Desert in Gdamis. These are some pictures from when we visited the old city of Nalut. This slide shows the visit of the team to the small town of Sinaun, where a local sculptor with the name Favlituwati presented to us a sculpture of the ASOR logo that he personally made, and as you can see the pictures on the bottom right corner. We were also lucky enough to have the opportunity to visit the small town of Kabu. In this slide, as you can see these pictures, is a workshop that took place in Cyrene that targeted the Department of Archaeology students during their excavations. Over here in these pictures, we are recording YouTube videos talking about the history of Libya. Finally, I would like to thank the ASOR organization for their help, support, and for inviting me to speak in this conference. We really appreciate it. And I would also like to give a big thank you to Mr. Bayoun, the leader of the Libyan Suitcase Museum team. He was behind all the success of this project, despite the unstable current circumstances in Libya. Thank you very much for everyone listening to my presentation, and I really hope you enjoyed it.